Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. Shalom and good evening. Peace and blessings. Shalom and Barakut to you and your entire house, to the whole house, the whole Ba'if of Yasher all 12 tribes, worldwide, wherever your feet are touching the soil on this evening. To the elder brother Yehuda, to the younger brother Ephraim, to the former stranger, the former foreigner, who was formerly estranged from the everlasting covenant, but having received the Ruach of adoption, the Ruach HaKadosh, the Ruach of Yahushua HaMashiach, and whereby having been engrafted into the olive tree, who is Yahushua, who is Yasher, and whereby now, being privy to the same everlasting covenant and promise and inheritance which was given to Yasher and to Yasher alone. Shalom and good evening to you. Peace and blessings. Shalom and barakut to you wherever your feet are touching the soil in this yom. Shalom, shalom, shalom to you and your house. Once again, to those of you who are on YouTube, who will listen to this teaching, this message, this proclamation later on. Once again, we're grateful that the Master Yahuwah has sent you our way during this muad, this appointed time, this consummation of the times that he has sent you our way. We're humbled and grateful that he has once again sent you back to hear, thus says Yahuwah, through the mouth, through the lips of this dirt vessel. Barak Yahuwah. For those of you who are on YouTube, who will listen to this later on, once again, if you desire to join us live, this Yahuwah's Remnant midweek gathering, whether that be, albeit on our midweek gatherings, whether that be on our Shabbat gatherings, if you have a desire to join Yahuwah's Remnant, again, either on the fourth day or on the Shabbat, there's going to be an email address listed in the description box. If you have a desire to join us live, use that email address. Email us. I'd be glad to hear from you. If you have a desire to fellowship with us, and we wait with anticipation to hear from you. If you have a desire to fellowship with us, and that is Yahuwah's Remnant, where once again we're not some church. We're not some 501(c) organization. We're not some camp, and we're not some ministry. We simply are who we are, and that is Yahuwah's Remnant people whom he's gathering from the four corners of the earth in this season, sealing us with the seal of the living Elohim, just in time, just in the nick of time, as indeed the ark has been sighted. The ark indeed has been sighted, and the alarm has been sounded. The ark was sighted on the Feast of Trumpets, on the day of blowing, the blowing of the shofar. The shofar, one of the uses of the shofar is to what? Is to sound the alarm. Indeed, the ark was sighted on the Feast of Trumpets. Indeed, this is the consummation of times. The season has changed, and even if you have the sermon of an ant, you understand that the season indeed has changed. The ark indeed is on its way. Nevertheless, if you have a desire to join Yahuwah's Remnant Live, there will be an email address there listed in the description box in which you can email us if you have a desire to fellowship with us. Nevertheless, welcome to you. Welcome to Yahuwah's Remnant 4th Day Gathering. I am Dawood Ben Yahuwah, and this is my Aisha Ashiyah.
Shalom.
Shalom to you worldwide to all 12 tribes, wherever your feet are touching the soil on this evening. Shalom to you. Shalom, shalom. Beloved ones, y'all pray with me. Y'all pray for both of us. My Aisha and I, we're very tired. We're very, very tired this evening. You may have heard me stumble over some words already. I'm still encased in this flesh, and I can't wait to get rid of it, Barak Yahuwah. But as of now, I'm still encased in it, and it gets tired. It gets tired. So both of us are tired tonight, so y'all pray with us, because this is a very important message that must go to the four corners of the earth. It must reach his people in this most important time, this most important season. This word must go out, and it must reach his people, to whomever the Master's given eyes to see and ears to hear and hearts to understand. Nevertheless, there is a message, there's a word from Yahuwah. There is a word from our Master Yahuwah. By now, you should already know, if you have been listening to those of you on YouTube, by now you should already know that this is the season in which our Master is getting ready to redeem his elder son, his elder daughter, the elder daughter who is to be given away in marriage first. He's getting ready to redeem Yahudym just in time to escape the hour of trial. Line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. The Master has established this in previous teachings, and so we're not going to go over that. That's a given. We understand that. If you've been listening at any length, you understand that this is about Yahuwah's covenant people. And Yahuwah's covenant people is Yahudah, as Ephraim was divorced in the year 722 BCE. And Ephraim to this day still remains divorced and scattered amongst the nations, just as Yahudah is. But scattered amongst the nations as a divorced son, as a divorced younger daughter. And Ephraim as a whole, hear him, as a whole, will not be restored to covenant until after the great distress. And so it is incumbent upon us in this most important of times, in this consummation of the times, to ensure that we are indeed attached to the olive tree, that we are indeed attached to the natural branches, that is Yahudah, and that not only that we are attached to the natural branch, that is Yahudah, but that we began to walk as Yahudym, that we are walking as Yahudym, that we are bearing the fruit of Yahudym, so that when the Master comes, that he can harvest, hear him, he can have a great harvest of his firstborn son, of his elder son, of his elder daughter, so that he can have a great harvest of him, of the first fruit, in order to save him from the hour of trial. Indeed, he's coming back for a harvest. He's coming back for a harvest. He's coming back soon for a harvest. And he's given us that number, and that number is 144,000, plus those who are attached, who are joined to us, who are affixed to us. He's coming back for a harvest. Hear him. This plays into the message in which he wants to speak tonight. He is coming back for a bountiful harvest. Hear him. A harvest. He's coming back for a first fruit harvest. He's coming back, in other words, from who? For those who are bearing fruit. For those who are bearing fruit. He's coming back for the first to bear fruit. He's coming back for a first fruit harvest in this season. If we're not bearing fruit, we're not Yahudym. Hear him. It's one thing to say that you're a Yahudym, but unless you're bearing the fruit of a Yahudym, then you're not a Yahudym. So he's coming back for a harvest, and he's coming back for that harvest very soon. Hear him. The ark has been sighted. The ark has been sighted. The ark is prepared to receive a harvest. The ark is prepared to receive a first fruit harvest, the house of Yahudah, and to bring Yahudah to Mount Zion, to escape the hour of trial, where we will be given a song that no one else can sing. This has been established. This has been established. And so now, once again, continuing the reason that the Master sent me by this past Shabbat. The Master has sent me by to continue speaking about Day of Atonement, Day of Atonement preparation, and how that applies to this Mu'adah, to this Mu'ad, this appointed season, this in the consummation of times. Hear him. Hear him. You may not have another opportunity. You may not have another opportunity. Another opportunity for what? To be atoned for. To receive life. To receive a second chance. To receive life before the great distress comes. To receive that breath of life. To receive that living water. To receive the redemptive blood of Yahushua. You may not have another opportunity. Again, if you have the discernment of an ant, you ought to be able to discern this time in this season that we're in. And you ought to be able to discern the importance of this Day of Atonement that is coming. There's never been one like this one. There's never been a Day of Atonement like this, either in our generation or our parents' generations or ever, as it applies to escaping the hour of trial. There's never been a Day of Atonement like this one. There's never been one. And in preparation for this Day of Atonement, the Master has uttered some very important words. And those words are, we must become dirt. We must get back to the dirt. We've got to get back to the dirt. We've got to humble ourselves, and we've got to become one with the dirt. We've got to be dirt. This is not optional. This is mandatory. We've got to become dirt. From that place, from the place of dirt is the only place. Hear him. The place of dirt is the only way from which we can receive atonement. From the dirt. From the dirt. Otherwise, you cannot be atoned for. We must be dirt. Hear him. Unless we are dirt, there is no atonement. There is no atonement. And so along these lines, if you're taking note this evening, the title of this message and the title of this teaching is Searching for the Ancient Path, I believe, part 79. Is it, little one?
Yes, sir.
Part 79, walk as Yahudym. Walk as Yahudym. To walk as Yahudym is to understand the importance of this Day of Atonement. To walk as Yahudym is to understand that we must be dirt. It's to understand that we must walk as dirt, that we must be dirt. That we must not just simply put on sackcloth and ashes and dump dirt over our heads as an outward sign of humility. Indeed, the command for the Day of Atonement is to what? Is to anah, is to humble ourselves. Is to humble ourselves and to repent and to turn from our wicked ways, to seek his face, to anah, to humble ourselves. To humble ourselves as what? As dirt. And to humble ourselves as dirt cannot come from an outward profession. It can only come from an inward place. He does not desire that we put on sackcloth and pour dirt and dust over our heads. He desires true humility. He desires that we truly understand, that we truly get the concept that we are dirt. And if you truly get the concept that you are dirt, then hear him. Assume the position. Assume the position as dirt. Because only from that place can he atone for us. From a place of humbling ourselves in accordance with the commandment. Humbling ourselves as dirt. Going back to the place from whence we came. Going to the dirt. Being one with the dirt. Being camouflaged with the dirt. This is the only place from which we can obtain life. Please hear him. Please hear him. And so the master, he told us this past Shabbat that this should be a time of reflection. This should be a time of reflection from the Feast of Trumpets to the Day of Atonement. That 10-day span in between should be a time of reflection, of repenting and confessing and humbling ourselves to the dirt, ensuring that we are indeed dirt, that we are indeed assuming the position, that we have assumed the position of humility, that we have become one with the dirt, and that we are now prepared. We are in the perfect position, to be atoned for. The perfect position to be atoned for. So we must get back to the dirt. We must get back to the dirt. We must understand that we're dirt. We're all dirt, irrespective of who we are. We're all dirt. The question is this evening, what manner of dirt are you? What manner of dirt are you? It's not a question that we're dirt. We are dirt. We are dirt. You must understand that, and you must assume the position if you desire to be atoned for. And if you desire to escape the hour of trial, you must be dirt. But that's not the question. That's not the question. We are all dirt. We're all created from dirt. That's fact. That's absolute fact. The question is, leading up to this Day of Atonement, is what manner of dirt are you? What manner of dirt are you? Are you soft dirt? Are you soft, pliable dirt? Or are you hard dirt? And when I say hard, I mean hard concrete dirt that you find in waste places where nothing grows on it. No, where nothing can grow on that dirt. It's void of moisture. It's void of living water. It's void. It's dry places. There are things that dwell in those dry places that are looking for rest. So the question is, what manner of dirt are you? Are you soft, pliable dirt? Or are you that hard, concrete dirt where nothing can grow? Because the fact of the matter is we're all dirt. We're all dirt. But what manner of dirt are you? What manner of dirt are you? This is Day of Atonement preparation. This is Day of Atonement preparations where we are commanded to anah, to humble ourselves. To humble ourselves. That doesn't mean to put on sackcloth and pour ashes and dirt over your head. No, that means to truly assume the position of dirt. assume the position of humility and to walk as dirt. Not just once a year putting sackcloth on you and pouring dirt and ashes over your head, but being in a perpetual walk of humility. Being in the perpetual place of dirt to where no one can tell the difference between you and the dirt. These are the ones of which he's coming to retrieve in a short time. And indeed, once more, the ark has been sighted. The ark has been sighted. Day of Atonement preparation. What manner of dirt are you? Are you soft dirt? Or are you hard dirt? Are you soft dirt? Or are you hard dirt? We dirt. That's not the question. What manner of dirt are you? Are you soft dirt? Or are you hard dirt? Are you soft dirt that has been made conducive to the planting of seed? Hear him. That has been made conducive to the planting of seed. He's going to talk more about seed. Made conducive to the planting of seed. Or are you that hard? None. You can't even get a plow through it. It's unplowable. You can't even get a plow to it. It's void of moisture. It's void of life. Hear him. It's void of life. Are you that soft dirt? Are you that hard dirt? That's the question you got to ask. Because going into the Day of Atonement, we've got to be that soft dirt. We've got to be that soft dirt if we desire to be atoned for. We've got to be that soft dirt. To whomever this applies to, we've got to be that soft dirt. Line by line, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. Searching for the ancient path, part 79. Walk as Yahudym. We got to get back to the dirt. We've got to get back to the dirt. What manner of you? What manner of dirt are you? What manner of dirt are you? Day of Atonement preparation. Line upon line, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. If you have your scriptures, turn to Genesis 2. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And I pray the Master gives you absolute understanding and clarity this night about the importance of dirt and about the importance of being dirt. Barashif, Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Barashif, Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Verse 7. Barashif, Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Beginning at verse 7. Read for us, little one.
And Elohim formed the man out of dust.
Listen. And Elohim formed the man out of dust. Read.
From the ground.
From the ground.
And breathed into his nostrils.
And breathed into his nostrils.
Breath of life.
Breath of life. Breathed into his nostrils. Breath of life. Man was formed from the dirt. Man was formed from the dust. Man is dirt. Man is dust. You've got to get this understanding. We are dirt. We are dust. And so what did the master do? What did the husbandman do? Hear him. He's a gardener. Yes, he is. And so you've got to understand that he's a gardener when you read the text. Yes, you do. From the Tanakh to the Ba'it Kadashah, you've got to understand the context that we're talking about a gardener. We're talking about a husbandman, a gardener. So what does the husbandman do, the gardener do? He scoops up some dirt. Yes, he did. It said it right here. He scoops up some dirt. He formed man out of the dust and out of the dirt. And what does he do? He breathed the breath of life into him. What does he do? He planted seed in him. Yes, he did. He planted seed in the ground. He planted his seed. He planted his seed in the ground. He scooped up soil. He planted his seed. Do you not understand that the seed is ruach? The seed is breath. The seed is ruach. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He planted his seed in the ground. The breath, the seed is also living water, as the ruach is also living water. He planted his seed in the ground, and he breathed the breath of life on it. He watered that seed. And what happened? Man became a living being. In other words, man grew up as a tender plant from the ground. Man grew up as a fruit-bearing tree from the ground. Yes, he did. He grew up as a fruit-bearing tree from the ground, and where he was supposed to bear fruit. He was supposed to bear fruit, and from him other lives were supposed to be born. And there should have been other branches and other trees sprouting up all over the place, also bearing fruit from the soil. This is about dirt. This is about dirt. He planted a seed in that soil that day. Yes, he did. And he's going to prove it. Line upon line, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. He planted a seed. He planted his seed. And he watered that seed. And that seed grew to a fruit-bearing plant. Adam grew to a fruit-bearing plant. This is why he makes the commandment after the fall. Listen, you bring me the first fruit from the soil. Because that represents you. And you bring me the firstlings from the flock. Because that represents you in your fallen state. In your fallen animalistic state. But before that fallen animalistic state, we came from the dirt. He formed us from the dirt. He planted a seed in the dirt. He breathed the breath of life. He breathed rock, living water into that dirt. And from the dirt grew a fruit-bearing tree whose name was Adam. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So you've got to understand the concept. Understand this concept. He's going somewhere. That we are dirt and he is a husbandman. Hear him. He is a gardener. He is a gardener. So we've got to understand that we are dirt. Otherwise, he has nothing to garden. You can't garden hard, brittle soil. There's nothing you can do with it. He is a gardener. And he needs dirt that he can work with. He needs dirt that he can plant in. Yes, he does. He needs dirt that he can plant in. If you don't understand this, you're not ready for the Day of Atonement. You're not ready for it. You've got to understand this. Come on, give us another precept, little one. Keep reading.
And the man became a living being.
And the man became a living being. Barak Yahuwah. Give us another precept.
Leviticus 17:10-13.
Leviticus chapter 17, verses 10 through 13. Leviticus chapter 17, verses 10 through 13. We are dirt. The text declares we are dirt. The question is, what manner of dirt are you? Are you that soft, pliable dirt that in which a seed, get this in your nafash, in which a seed can be planted? Or are you hard, brittle soil that is lifeless, that where there is no moisture, where nothing can grow but tumbleweeds and desert weeds? Or are you that soft, pliable soil that has been made conducive for the planting of seed? Leviticus chapter 17, verses 10 through 13. Leviticus chapter 17, verses 10 through 13. Beginning at verse 10. Come on, read, little one.
And any man of the house of Yasharal, or of the strangers who sojourn among you, who eats any blood, I shall set my face against that being who eats blood, and shall cut him off from among his people.
Come on.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the slaughter place to make atonement for your lives. For it is the blood that makes atonement for the life.
It's the blood that makes atonement for the life. The Hebrew kafar. Kafar. And it means, hear him. To atone means to cover over. Hear him. It means to cover over. To atone means to cover over. To cover your sins, to cover over. Come on, read, little one.
Therefore I said to the children of Yasharal, no being among you eats blood, nor does any stranger who sojourns among you eat blood. And any man from the children of Yasharal, or from the strangers who sojourn among you, who hunts and catches any beast or bird, which is eaten, shall pour out his blood.
Shall pour out his blood
and cover it with dust.
And cover it over. And cover it over. And cover it with dust. In other words, I want you to plant it. Hear him? Hear him. I want you to plant this. I want you to cover it over with dirt. And I want you to plant it. Do you not know that Adam, it means ruddy? Adam, mankind means ruddy. It means that Adam is what? Was made from a mixture of blood and dirt. Blood and dirt. He's ruddy. He's ready. This is Adam here being covered over. There's a seed being covered over here. He told you the seed was Ruach. Do you not understand by now that the Dam is Ruach? The Dam is Ruach. The Dam is synonymous with Ruach. The Dam is synonymous with seed. It is synonymous with seed. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so here he says, pour out the blood, and I want you to cover it over. It's going to make sense. I want you to cover it over with dirt. I want you to plant it. I want you to plant this seed. Cover it over with dirt because of the life of the creature. It is in its blood, and I've given it to you for the atonement of your sins upon the altar. Cover it over. Atone. To atone means to cover over. And so cover the blood up. Bury it. Bury this seed. Bury this seed so that something can grow, so that something can come forth from the ground. Come on, read.
We got John 6:51 and 63.
John chapter 6. John chapter 6. The blood poured upon the ground. The atoning blood poured upon the ground. If you're not ground, if you're not dirt, if you're not the type of dirt that can receive the dung, that can receive the seed, that can receive the breath of life, then you're not in a position to be atoned for. You're in no position to be atoned for. If you are that hard, brittle dirt in which the blood won't even soak into the ground, to where you can't find any dust to even cover the blood. If you're that hard, brittle, non-pliable soil, then the Day of Atonement ain't for you. He says to humble ourselves. To humble ourselves as dirt means to humble ourselves as that soft, pliable dirt. Dirt in which something can be planted in it, in which a seed can be planted, in which dung can be planted, in which the breath of life can be breathed into. If that isn't you, then you can't be atoned for. If you don't realize that you're that dirt and he's the husbandman, then you're not in a position to be atoned for. John chapter 6, what verses, little one?
51 to 63.
Verses 51 to 63. John chapter 6, verses 51 to 53. John chapter 6, verses 51 to 53. Beginning at verse 51. Come on, read for us, little one.
I am the living bread which came down out of heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he shall live forever. And indeed, the bread that I shall give is my flesh, which I shall give for the life of the world. The Yahudym, therefore, were striving with one another, saying, how is this one able to give us his flesh to eat? Yahushua therefore said to them, truly, truly, I say to you, unless you eat the flesh of the son of Adam.
Unless you eat the flesh of the son of Adam. Come on.
And drink his blood.
And drink his blood.
You possess no life in yourselves.
Okay, you stop right there, little one. Unless you eat his flesh and drink his blood, you have no life in you. You have no life in you. Now recall what was just discussed already. Recall what was already discussed already, that we're dirt. We're dirt. And in the beginning, he planted seed and he breathed the breath of life, and the seed is synonymous with ruach, with breath, with blood. Him and us and him. Him and us, he is the seed. Hear him, he, Yahushua, he's the seed. He's the seed that must be planted in this soil. Come on. He is the seed that must be planted in this soil. He is the son of Adam. He is the son of Adam. What is Psalm in the Hebrew? Ban. B-A-N, ban. And it is comprised of the Hebrew letters Bayit and Nun. What does Nun mean? Nun means seed. Nun means descendant. Nun means inheritance. You have no inheritance unless you have the son. You are not his descendant unless you have the son. He is the seed. He is the seed planted in this soil. And unless you're dirt, his seed cannot be planted in you. If you're that hard, brittle soil, this seed, the seed of Yahushua HaMashiach, he is the seed. Yes, he is. He is the seed. He is the Ruach HaKadosh. He is the Dam. He is the son. He is the son. When we think of inheritance in the Hebrew context, we always think of sons. The word ban, Bayif and Nun again meaning descendant and heir and seed. Whereas the Hebrew word for daughter is Baf, Bayif and Tar, Bayik and Tar. Still a daughter we find with the letter Tar is in covenant with the master, a true daughter. Because a true daughter, what? Comes from his loins. She comes from his loins. And if you come from his loins, daughter, then you are his daughter. You are in covenant with him. Thus the word Ba'if, Ba'if, and Tar. Wherever you find the letter Tar, this is indicative of covenant. But in terms of inheritance, it is always passed to the son. Thus, Nun it means inheritance, it means seed, and it means descendant. Yahusha is the son of Adam. He came as the son of Adam. As the son of Adam, he is the seed. He is the seed. If this seed isn't in us, we're not atoned for. We have no life in us. To be atoned for means to have our crimes covered so that what? So that we can live. So that we can live. Again, the blood is synonymous with the seed. The seed is synonymous with the Ruach. He is all of this. And he, the seed, must be planted in fertile soil, pliable soil. It cannot be planted in that hard, brittle soil. Do you understand the Day of Atonement? Do you understand that this is about receiving seed? Because unless you receive seed, you're not atoned for. You have no life. And if you're not dirt, soft, pliable dirt, if you have not humbled yourself to receive this seed, the seed of life, the seed of Yahushua HaMashiach in this dirt, so that what? So that us and him and us, him in us, him in the dirt, and us and him. As the dirt surrounds the seed in the dirt around the seed, us and him and us. And from the dirt, us growing up, us being resurrected with him, from the dirt, resurrected with the seed. From the dirt, we then become fruit-bearing plants. We become fruit-bearing trees. You can't become a fruit-bearing tree unless the seed is in you. Unless the seed be first planted. You cannot become a fruit-bearing tree. And the master has already discussed and said that he's coming back for a harvest. For fruit-bearing trees. He's coming back for first fruit. Those who understand the Day of Atonement, who has humbled themselves and assumed the position as dirt, so that the blood can be poured and covered up, so that the seed, in other words, can be planted in that soil, so that we can grow up in unison with that seed, coming from that soil and becoming a fruit-bearing tree. He's the only one who's ever, he's the only one that has ever truly borne fruit. He's the only one that has truly borne fruit from his birth to his death. He is the only one that was perfect, that has truly borne fruit. And if we desire to bear the fruit requisite of repentance, the fruit requisite that leads to everlasting life, that seed, hear him, that seed must be planted in dirt, soft, pliable dirt, humble dirt, not the pouring of the dirt over your head and putting sackcloth on you once a year, but no, being one with the dirt so that he can atone for you. He atoned for us by pouring that dirt out on the ground and covering it up. In other words, putting that seed in the soil. Putting the seed in the soil of man, as we are dirt, so that we can be atoned for, growing up, producing that fruit that leads to everlasting life. Otherwise, you cannot be atoned for if you're not dirt. Come on, read, little one.
He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood possesses everlasting life. And I shall raise him up in the last day. In other words, he who has my seed in him. Because if you have my seed in you, then you are my seed. You are my seed. You are my inheritance. You are my descendant. You are my seed. If my seed has been planted in this dirt, you are my seed. Me and you and me, you are my seed. But it needs dirt. Somebody, please. Who's in here? Who's in here? Barak Yahuwah. Barak Yahuwah. Don't you need seed? Don't you need dirt for seed, little daughter? Yes, sir. Barak, you got to have dirt. You've got to have dirt. Without dirt, you can't plant seed. You can't plant seed. Come on, little one, read. For my flesh is truly food, and my blood is truly drink. He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood stays in me. And I am in him. As the living Father sent me, and I live because of the Father. So he who feeds on me shall live because of me. This is the bread which came down out of heaven, not as your fathers ate the manna and died. He who eats this bread shall live forever. He said this in a congregation, teaching in Capharnaum. Therefore many of his taught ones, having heard this, said, this word is hard. Who is able to hear it? But Yahushua, knowing within himself that his taught ones were grumbling about this, and said to them, does this make you stumble?
Come on.
What if you see the son of Adam going up where he was before? It is the Ruach that gives life.
It is the Ruach that gives life.
The flesh does not profit at all.
The flesh does not profit at all. Thus he breathed seed. He breathed the breath of life. He breathed Ruach into the ground and watered that seed. And from the ground grew Adam, grew man into a fruit-bearing tree. But he failed. And so the second Adam came up from the ground. He came up from the ground as he was resurrected. He came up from the ground as a fruit-bearing tree. Thus now, if we are impaled with him, we die with him. And then we're buried with him. And then we're resurrected to the newness of life when we are immersed. And thus, we are that seed with him that is planted in the ground. And in unison with him, as he was resurrected, we are resurrected to the newness of life and become fruit-bearing trees, provided that the Ruach, that the seed, that the dam, the blood, courses through our veins. It's all about the dirt. What manner of dirt are you? Are you that soft, pliable dirt in which seed can be planted in, or are you that hard, concrete-like dirt where there is no life in it? This is the Day of Atonement, to where you've got to now humble yourself. If you want the blood poured upon the dirt, in other words, if you want the seed planted, the Ruach in you, and through the Ruach we may live. This may be your last chance. The ark has been sighted. The ark has been sighted. There's a call to repentance, Yahudym, to humble yourself, to become dirt. Dirt. As dirt, so that seed can be planted in you. The Ruach, the dam, the blood, the breath of life. Otherwise, you're dead. Otherwise, you're that hard, non-pliable soil where there is no life. Either way, you're dirt. The question is, what manner of dirt are you? What manner of dirt are you? This is all about the dirt. Hear him. He's a gardener. He's a gardener. This is all about gardening. We are dirt. We are dirt, and it's all about the planting of seed. But when he plants the seed, guess what? He expects a harvest. Yes, he does. He's a gardener. He's a husbandman. He expects a harvest. He expects a harvest. And the only way that we can produce a harvest is if his seed has been planted in this soil. If the seed of the Son of Man, of the bond of Ban Adam, unless the seed of Ban Adam has been planted in us, we can bear no fruit. We can bear no fruit. We can bear no fruit. And so this is all about planting that seed in soft, tillable soil. But you've got to become humble and as low as dirt. Otherwise, the seed cannot cannot be planted in us. The soil isn't ready. It isn't ready. We must become that soft, pliable, humble, quiet dirt so that he can plant his seed, so that he can atone for us, so that we can grow from that soil to begin to be fruit-bearing trees. Fruit-bearing trees. So that when he comes back, he will receive a bountiful harvest. A bountiful harvest of fruit-bearing trees. Come on, read, little one.
The words that I speak to you are Ruach and are life.
The words that I speak to you are Ruach and are life. The seed is Ruach. The seed is Yahushua HaMashiach. He is the son of Adam. He is the seed of Adam. Born by Eve, Nun means again seed, descendant, inheritance. He is the seed. He is Ruach. He is the breath. He is the blood. He is Yahushua HaMashiach. He must be in us in him. But in order for him to be in us in him, we've got to assume the position of dirt. Do you understand? We've got to assume the position of dirt. If you're anything other than dirt, then you have not been made right. You have not been made ready for the receiving of seed. Come on, give us another precept, little one.
1 Corinthians 3, 5 through 9.
1 Corinthians 3, come on. Verses 5 through 9. You've got to get this, understanding. We dirt. He's a husbandman. Either the question is, what manner of dirt are you? And this goes into the Day of Atonement. We've got to humble ourselves as dirt. Not by putting sackcloth and ashes on, and not by pouring dirt and ashes over our heads, but we've got to humble ourselves as dirt and come from a position of true humility. True humility. To be made ready for the planting of seed, of ruach, of breath, of the dam of Yahushua HaMashiach. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses what, little one?
5 through 9.
Verses 5 through 9. Beginning at verse 5. Come on, read, little one.
What then is Apollos,
Mm-hmm.
and what is Shaul?
Uh-huh.
But servants through whom you believe,
Uh-huh.
as the master assigned to each.
Uh-huh.
I planted.
Do you understand that we're dirt? We're dirt. Do you understand the concept from start to finish? We're dirt. And he's looking for that soft, pliable dirt, that humble dirt of which he can plant seed in and water, so that from that soil will grow a fruit-bearing tree. So that he, the husbandman, the gardener, can come and gather a harvest. Do you understand? So this is the Day of Atonement. It's all about humbling ourselves. Humbling ourselves and be made ready for the planting of seed. This may be your last chance. This may be your last opportunity. Come on, read, little one.
Apollos watered,
Uh-huh.
but Elohim was giving growth.
But Elohim brings the produce. Elohim brings forth the bounty. Elohim brings forth the fruit. Shaul planted. Apollo watered. But Elohim brings forth the produce. He brings forth the fruit. We're dirt. We're dirt, beloved ones. We're dirt. Understand the context, please. From start to finish, we're dirt. This is about the retrieval. This is about planting seed in dirt. And from that dirt, producing a fruit-bearing tree. And coming at the appointed time, at the appointed time and season to retrieve the bountiful harvest of that tree. The bountiful harvest of a crop. We're dirt. We're dirt. And this dirt must be the right texture of soil to receive the planting of seed. Ruach, Yahushua HaMashiach, the breath of life. Come on, read, little one.
So neither he who plants nor he who waters is any at all.
Yeah, go ahead.
But Elohim who gives the increase.
But Elohim who gives the increase, who brings forth fruit. Who brings forth fruit. From start to finish, since the time that the master opened my mouth. Since the time he's opened my mouth. And I don't know how long he's going to open my mouth. But from the time he's opened my mouth, he's talked about receiving the Ruach. Receiving Ruach. Receiving Ruach is how we are atoned for. It's how we are being saved. It's the receiving of Ruach. The Day of Atonement is no different. But in the Day of Atonement, we get the understanding of wait now, we're dirt. We got to get back to dirt. We got to get back to the beginning with dirt. With dirt. So that what? So that we can be atoned for. So that the blood can be poured upon the dirt and the dirt can cover the blood to plant the seed. So that from the soil comes forth a fruit-bearing tree. A fruit-bearing tree. One in which the husbandman, the gardener, is pleased to harvest. Is pleased to harvest. This may be your last chance. This may be his last chance. The ark has been sighted. It's been sighted. The alarm has been sounded. The ark has been sighted. This is a call to repentance. This is Day of Atonement preparation. We've got to anah. We've got to humble ourselves in accordance with the commandment to humble ourselves for the Day of Atonement. We've got to humble ourselves as dirt. We've got to get back to the dirt, that soft, pliable soil. See, some of you are still that hard, non-pliable soil. And you're going to be caught up in the valley of oh no, saying, oh no, how did I get up here? You're hearing it right now. Because you're hard. You're stiff-necked. You're full of pride. And no seed can be planted there. There's no life there. There's no life in you because you're hard. You refuse to allow him to break up that soil. To be that soft, pliable soil. Made ready for the planting of seed. Made ready for the receiving of life. Made ready to be atoned for. This may be your last chance. This may be your last chance. This is no laughing matter. This is no joking matter. This is a serious matter. This is a time of reflection. Being made ready for the Day of Atonement. Making sure that you understand that you're just dirt. From start to finish, it's about dirt. It's about seed. It's about produce. It's about harvest time. You're just dirt. After the consummation of the times, at the completion of times, we'll no longer be dirt. We'll be like our Father. But for now, you're dirt. We are dirt. We're all dirt. Question is, what manner of dirt are you? Soft dirt or hard dirt, but you're still dirt. On the Day of Atonement, however, that's only for soft, pliable dirt. That's only for soft, pliable dirt, made ready for the planting of seed. Come on, read, little one.
And he who plants and he who waters are one, and each one shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are fellow workers of Elohim. You are the field of Elohim, the building of Elohim.
You are the field. We are the field. We are the ground. We are the dirt. We are the dirt. Understand the analogies here in which the master, you ought to now be able to read from start to finish and understand this thing. You're dirt. We're dirt. And it's about planting of seed in dirt and expecting a harvest as the gardener, as the husbandman expecting a harvest from that dirt, from the seed that you planted. From start to finish, this is what this is about. The problem is men get puffed up. We forget that we're but dirt. And some men want to exalt themselves above Elohim, showing whose son or daughter they are. You see, they're that hard, non-pliable dirt. Wherever you see pride, that's that non-pliable dirt. There's a seed in them, because there's two types of seed. There's the seed of Yahuwah, there's the seed of Elohim, which is Yahushua HaMashiach, the Ruach HaKadosh planted in us. And there's the seed of the adversary. See, his seed is planted in hard, brittle soil. His seed flourishes in dry places. Yes, it does. Because when a devil is cast out of a man, it goes through dry places looking for rest. But when it can find none, it goes back to that house. And when it finds it swept and neat and put in order, it goes and gets 7 more devils more wicked than it, and it comes to dwell in that house. In the next place, the next state of that man is worse than the last. The devil he dwells in dry places. And so that hard, brittle soil, his seed flourishes there. It flourishes there. And that's the difference between a Yahudym and those of the nations and those of the Gentiles. A Yahudym knows he's dirt. A Yahudym has received seed. And a Yahudym has become a fruit-bearing tree. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Because those who don't bear fruit, he cuts them off and throws them where that branch withers and dies and is good for nothing but being thrown into the fire. It's about the dirt. It's all about the dirt. The question is, what manner of dirt are you? The Day of Atonement is all about humility, humbling ourselves, getting back to the dirt, not by putting on sackcloth and pouring dirt and ashes over our heads, but assuming the true position of humility. Assuming the position. Assuming the position. You're running out of time. You're running out of time. Come on, give us another one, little one.
John 12:24.
John chapter 12, verse 24. John chapter 12, verse 24. Reading verse 24. Go ahead, little one.
Truly, truly, I say to you.
Truly, truly, I say to you.
Unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground.
Unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground.
and dies, it remains alone.
It remains alone.
But if it dies, it bears much fruit.
It bears much fruit. I pray you understand that he's speaking of himself. He's speaking of himself dying and thus resurrected, now us in him in us, this seed now being planted in the earth, this seed now being planted in us, so that now we grow up with him. We grow up with him. Him and us and him, we are resurrected with him from the dead. Him and us and him, and we begin to bear fruit. Fruit requisite of life, of everlasting life. Fruit requisite of getting to Mount Zion. He is the seed that must be planted in this soil. He is the seed that must be planted in this soil, this dirt, in order that a fruit-bearing tree will come forth from the soil, will come forth and begin to bear the fruit of life, will begin to bear the fruit of righteousness that leads to everlasting life. As the master from the very beginning scooped up dirt, planted seed, the seed is ruach, the seed is dam. He breathed the breath of life into Adam, and Adam came forth from the soil as a fruit-bearing tree. Yes, he did. He came forth as a fruit-bearing tree. It's all about the dirt. What manner of dirt are you? We're incapable of bearing fruit unless this seed, the seed of Yahushua HaMashiach, the Ruach HaKadosh, is planted in us. We are incapable of bearing the type of fruit that he demands unless we are that soft, pliable soil in which the seed of Yahushua HaMashiach, the Ruach HaKadosh, the shed dam of Yahushua HaMashiach, has been planted in. Otherwise, we are incapable. And unless this occurs, there is no atonement. There is no atonement. To atone, again, means to cover up. It means to bury. It means to cover up. It means to bury. And unless this happens, there is no atonement. There is no atonement. If you have not received, let's break this down to the simplest form. If you have not received the Ruach HaKadosh, you don't belong to him. You're not his. You have not been atoned for, and you're in grave danger. You're in grave danger because you're dead. You're the living dead. You're a dead man or you're a dead man walking. And so shortly, when death himself puts on flesh, wraps himself up in flesh, you're going to be subject to him. You're going to be subject to him because he is death and you're dead. You're dead. You wouldn't soften your brittled heart to allow the seed to be planted. And you're dead. You're already dead. Already prepared for death to come down and to put on flesh. There has never been a day of atonement more important than this one. What is wrong with your wake up? There has never been one more important than this one. If you got the discernment of an ant, you understand this. The ark has been sighted. There is not much time. Come on, read, little one.
Yeah, 1 John 3, 9 through 12.
1 John. Yahuwah Allah, 1 John chapter 3. 1 John chapter 3. Yahuwah Allah, chapter 3. 1 John chapter 3, what verses, little one?
9 through 12.
Verses 9 through 12. Verses 9 through 12. Beginning at verse 9. Read, little one.
Everyone having been born of Elohim does not sin.
Hear him. Everyone having been born of Elohim. All who are dirt and who have received seed do not commit sin. All who are dirt and have received the seed of the Ruach HaKadosh, have received the seed of the son of Adam, have received the breath of life in them, and are now growing and producing fruit, do the fruit of righteousness, do not sin. Read, little one.
Because his seed stays in him.
Because his seed stays in him. I told you it's all about the dirt. And it's all about seed. We are the dirt. He is the seed. We do not commit sin because the seed who is the son of Adam, Yahushua HaMashiach, the Ruach HaKadosh, the living word, the living Torah, he remains in us. And so as he grew up as a fruit-bearing plant, a fruit-bearing tree, We have grown from the soil with him. And we are now fruit-bearing trees, bearing the fruit of righteousness that leads to everlasting life from his seed. His seed planting in this soil, and his seed remains in this soil. The Ruach HaKodesh, the living breath, the living word, the living Torah, the Sheddam of Yahushua HaMashiach. It stays in us, so we do not commit sin. We're bearing fruit. And so when the husbandman comes to gather the produce of the seed, to gather a harvest, Barak Yahu, we will be found well doing. Well doing. As he says, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to reward each according to his work. To reward each according to his work, producing the fruit that leads to everlasting life from the seed planted in the soil. Get the context. From the seed planted in the soil. Soft, pliable soil. The question is, what manner of soil are you? What manner of dirt are you? We are dirt. We're all dirt. But what manner of dirt are you? Get this from start to finish. We're dirt. We're dirt. What manner of dirt are you? You may not have another opportunity. Come on, read, little one.
And he is powerless to sin, because he has been born of Elohim. In this, the children of Elohim and the children of the devil are manifest.
And this, the children of Elohim and the children of the devil are manifest. The children of Elohim have what? Have seed, little one. Soft, pliable soil. They have seed. The seed of the devil, they're that hard, brittle soil, and they have his seed in them. And this, the children of Elohim and the children of the devil are made manifest. Read.
Everyone not doing righteousness.
Everyone not doing righteousness. That hard, brittle soil, having no life in them, having the seed of the devil in them, where there is no life. And dry, deserted places. They have no life in them. Read.
Is not of Elohim.
It's not of Elohim.
Neither the one not loving his brother.
Neither the one not loving his brother.
Because this is a message that you heard from the beginning.
Because this is a message you heard from the beginning.
That we should love one another.
That we should love one another.
Not as Cain, who was of the wicked one.
Not as Cain, who was of the wicked one.
And killed his brother.
And killed his brother.
And why did he kill him?
And why did he kill him?
Because his works were wicked.
Because his works were wicked.
But those of his brother were righteous.
But those of his brother were righteous. What manner of soil are you, Yahudym? What manner of soil are you? Soft, brittle, soft, pliable soil, where the seed of Yahuwah has been planted into you, the seed of Yahushua, the son of Adam, the Ruach HaKodesh has been planted into you? Or are you that hard, brittle soil? That hard, brittle soil that hates. That hates your brother in your heart. That hates him. Even if you hate him in your heart, you're still a murderer. You're still a murderer. You've good as murdered him, because murder is manifested in the heart. Murder is conceived, rather, in the heart. Are you that hard, brittle soil of the devil in which the seed of the master cannot penetrate? Are you that hard, brittle soil in which only the seed of the adversary can thrive in? Where you hate and you're producing the fruits of unrighteousness. You're full of the fruit of unrighteousness. You may not have another opportunity. The command for the Day of Atonement is to anah, to humble ourselves, to be that soft, brittle soil, so that we can be atoned for, so that we can receive the planting of the seed, the Ruach HaKodesh, the pouring of the blood upon the ground, and the covering up of the blood with dirt, planting the seed, so that we grow forth from the soil as fruit-bearing trees, bearing the fruit requisite of everlasting life. Come on, read, little one.
We have Romans 8, verse 9.
Romans 8, verse 9. Romans 8, verse 9. Romans chapter 8, verse 9. Romans chapter 8, verse 9. Begin at verse 9. Read for us, little one.
But you are not in the flesh.
But you are not in the flesh.
But in the Ruach.
But in the Ruach.
If indeed the Ruach of Elohim dwells in you.
If indeed the Ruach of Elohim dwells where?
In you.
In you. Him and us and him, the seed planted in this soil. Read.
And if anyone does not have the Ruach of Mashiach.
And if anyone does not have the Ruach of Mashiach, the son of Adam, who is the seed. Who is the seed? planted in the soil, read.
This one is not his.
This one is not his. If his seed is not in us, in that soft, pliable, humble, quiet soil, then the only other choice is the seed of the adversary in that hard, brittle soil that is in waste places, desert places, where Ruach dwell, and where the fruit of righteousness cannot dwell. Where the fruit of righteousness cannot dwell. There is no atonement out there. There is no atonement for them. There is no atonement for the devil. There is no atonement for Ruach. There is no atonement for them. And so if your heart is hard and brittle, you belong to him. But if you are that soft, pliable, soft soil, the master desires to plant a seed in you if he hasn't already. He desires to plant a seed in you so that seed would grow forth to a fruit-bearing tree. From that soil will grow a fruit-bearing tree, so that when he comes, he has a harvest in which he is well pleased with, a first fruit harvest of which he is well pleased with. Come on, read, little one.
Matthew chapter 13.
Matthew now, chapter 13. We've read this before, but now you should have a renewed understanding. Now you should have a renewed understanding. We're not going to read it all. But now you should have a renewed understanding that you are dirt. We are dirt. The question is, what manner of dirt are you? This is Day of Atonement preparation. We're talking about humility. We're talking about humbling ourselves now as dirt, not by the pouring of dirt over our head and putting on sackcloth. No, for an outward display of humility so that others can see you. No. Letting the fruit come forth from the heart, the fruit of humility come forth from the heart, assuming the natural position of dirt from which we came, because we are dirt. We are dirt. From dirt we came, and from dirt we return. We are dirt. So we must understand this concept from start to finish and assume the position as dirt and become one with dirt in preparation for the Day of Atonement. Matthew chapter 13, beginning at verse 1. Come on, read, little one.
And on that day, Yahushua went out of the house and sat by the sea. And large crowds were gathered together to him, so that he went into a boat and sat down. And all the crowd stood on the beach. And he spoke to them much in parables, saying, See, the sower went out to sow.
See, the sower went out to sow. Yes, he did. Come on.
And as he sowed, some indeed fell by the wayside.
Some indeed fell by the wayside. Read.
And the birds came and devoured them. And others fell on rocky places.
And others fell on rocky places. Read.
Where they did not have much soil.
Come on.
And immediately they sprang up, because they had no depth of soil.
Come on.
But when the sun was up, they were scorched. And because they had no root, they withered. And others fell among thorns.
And others fell among thorns. Come on.
And the thorns came up and choked them.
And the thorns came up and choked them.
And others fell on good soil.
And others fell on good soil.
And yielded a crop.
And yielded a crop.
Some 100-fold.
Some 100-fold.
Some 60.
Some 60.
Some 30.
Some 30. Oh, what a beautiful crop, little one. What a beautiful harvest. Come on, read, little one.
He who has ears to hear, let him hear.
Now you ought to have ears to hear.
And the taught ones came and said to him, Why do you speak to them in parables? And he answering said to them, Because it has been given to you to know the secrets.
Because it's been given to you now, Yahudah. You're hearing it tonight. To know the secrets. Read.
Of the rain.
Of the rain.
Of the heavens.
Of the heavens. Read.
But to them it has not been given.
But to them it has not been given.
For whosoever possesses, to him more shall be given.
For to whomever possesses understanding, to him more understanding will be given. Read.
And he shall have overflowingly.
And he shall have overflowingly. Read.
But whoever does not possess.
But whoever does not possess.
Even what he possesses shall be taken away from him.
Even what he possesses shall be taken away from him. Read.
Because of this I speak to them in parables.
Because of this I speak to them in parables. Read.
Because seeing they do not see.
Seeing they do not see.
And hearing they do not hear.
Hearing they do not hear.
Nor do they understand.
Nor do they understand.
And in them the prophecy of your Yashiyahu is completely filled. Which says, hearing you shall hear.
Hearing you shall hear.
And by no means understand.
And by no means understand.
And seeing you shall see.
And seeing you shall see.
And by no means perceive.
And by no means perceive.
For the heart of this people has become thickened.
For the heart of this people has become thickened.
And their ears are hard of hearing.
And their ears are hard of hearing.
And their eyes they have closed.
And their eyes they have closed.
Lest they should see with their eyes.
Lest they shall see with their eyes.
And hear with their ears.
And hear with their ears.
Lest they should understand with their heart.
Lest they should understand with their heart.
And turn back and I healed them.
And turn back and he healed them. They didn't understand that we're dirt, we're soil. It really is that simple. Understanding this concept, understanding the analogy of us being soil, of dirt. And it really boils down to what manner of dirt are you? Are you that soft, pliable soil in which seed can be planted and which you can produce a harvest of 30, 60, some 100-fold? Or are you the hard, brittle soil where you begin eyes that you cannot see and ears that you do not hear and a heart that you do not understand? He's giving you understanding this night, Yahudah. He's giving you understanding and giving you an opportunity to humble yourself as dirt, to become one with the dirt, to become plowable and made conducive to the planting of seed, to the Ruach HaKodesh, who alone gives life, who alone atones for us. Without him, there is no atonement. Yahusha is the Ruach HaKodesh. It is his dam, who is Ruach. He's given you understanding and given you an opportunity. And there may not be another opportunity. The ark has been sighted. This is a call to repentance. This is Day of Atonement preparation. We've got to go back to the dirt. We've got to assume the position. Come on, read, little one.
And blessed are your eyes because they see.
Listen, blessed are your ears because they hear. And blessed are your eyes because they see. Do you hear? Blessed are your ears, Yahudah, because you're hearing this tonight. And blessed are your eyes now because you see that it's about dirt. It's all about dirt. It's all about the earth, the redemption of the earth, the redemption of man. It's all about dirt. Man is dirt. Man is earth. Get this. It's all about dirt. The question is, what manner of dirt are you? What manner of dirt are you? Are you dirt made conducive to the planting of seed, the planting of the Ruach? Or are you that hard, brittle soil? Come on, read, little one.
And your ears because they hear. For truly I say to you, that many prophets and righteous ones long to see what you see, and did not see it, and to hear what you hear, and did not hear it. You then hear the parable of the sower.
Here.
When anyone hears the word of the rain and does not understand it, then the wicked one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is that sown by the wayside.
This sown by the wayside. That soil ain't ready. It ain't ready. It's not low enough. It's not plowable enough. That soil ain't ready. He comes right in and snatches it away. It's not soft enough. There's some seed left on the top soil. So that the birds come and snatch it right away. It's not ready. Come on, read.
And that sown on rocky places, this is he who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. Yet he has no root in himself.
He had no root.
But is short-lived. And when pressure or persecution arises because of the word, immediately he
withers. He withers. Come on.
And that sown among the thorn is he who hears the word, and the worry of this age, and the deceit of riches choke the word, and it becomes fruitless. And that sown...
What manner of soil are you? You should now be hearing this with renewed understanding. What manner of soil are you? Come on, read, little one.
And that sown on the good soil.
And that sown on the good soil. Read.
He who hears the word. And understands it.
Yes.
Who indeed bears fruit.
Who indeed bears fruit. He is a gardener. He is a husbandman. He expects a return. He expects to come to receive a harvest. And soon he's coming to look for a first fruit harvest. It's one thing to say that I'm a Yahudym, that I'm Yahudah. I'm going to Mount Zion. But if you're not producing a harvest, if you're not producing fruit, first fruit, you're not Yahudah. You're not Yahudah. He's a husbandman. He's a gardener. He's coming back to gather fruit from a seed sown in good soil. Sown in good soil. And springing forth from the soil, us and him and us, producing fruit that leads to everlasting life. He's coming to gather fruit. He's coming to gather fruit, Yahudym. He's coming to gather fruit. This may be your last chance to have seed planted in you. The ark has been sighted. This may be your last chance to have seed planted in you. Come on, read, little one.
And yield some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Another parable.
That's it, little one. You stop right there. Barak Yahuwah. Thank you, Master. It's all about the soil. All about the dirt. All about now humbling ourselves as the dirt we are. Becoming one with the dirt. Becoming plowable and made conducive to the planting of seed. His seed in us. Us and him and us. Grow, sprouting forth from the soil. As Adam sprout forth from the soil as a fruit-bearing tree. Us being resurrected from the soil with him as fruit-bearing trees. And if we're bearing fruit when he comes, if we're found well doing, he's promised to keep us from the hour of trial and bring us to Mount Zion, where we will have a song that no one else can sing. It's all about the dirt. What manner of dirt are you? What manner of dirt are you? Are you prepared to humble yourself for the day of atonement? As the dirt we are. What manner of dirt are you? Are you reflecting now? Are you reflecting and humbling yourself? Lying at the feet of the Master, humbling yourself. Being made ready for the planting of seed. This is what it's about. It's all about the dirt. The question is, what manner of dirt are you? Come on, read, little one.
We got John 15.
John chapter 15. And little one's just going to read till I tell her to stop. John chapter 15. By now you should have the understanding, line upon line, precept upon precept. It's about the dirt. It's about the dirt. Do you understand? It's about the dirt. From start to finish, it's about the dirt. We've got to get back to the dirt. We've got to. You can't bear fruit unless you're not dirt, unless you're not fertile soil. It's all about the dirt. What manner of dirt are you? John chapter 15. John chapter 15, beginning at verse 1. Come on, read, little one.
I am the true vine.
I am the true vine.
And my Father is the gardener.
Did he not say, my Father is the gardener? Mm-hmm. My Father is the gardener. My Father is the husbandman. My Father is the gardener. He is the true vine. He is the seed. He is the branch of Yishai. He is the stump of Yishai. He's the seed. In other words, he's the stump of Jesse. He is the stump of Yishai. He is the seed. Sprouting forth from the soil, planted in the soil, planted in us, in the dirt. He is the seed. And his Father is the gardener. His Father is the gardener, and he expects fruit. He demands fruit. He demands a harvest because he's a gardener. He's a husbandman. It's all about the dirt. He's the seed, and his Father is a gardener. Read.
Every branch in me that bears no fruit.
Every branch what? Springing forth from this seed. Springing forth from the seed, from the bun Adam, from the son of Adam. Every branch springing forth from the seed that what? That
bears
does not
fruit.
That bears no fruit.
He takes away.
He takes away.
And every branch that bears fruit.
And every branch that bears fruit.
He prunes.
He prunes.
So that it bears more fruit.
So that it bears more fruit.
You are already clean because of the word.
You are already clean because of the word.
Which I have spoken to you.
Which I have spoken to you. It's all about the dirt and the planting of seed. And the growing up from the seed, from that seed, from the soil, to produce fruit so that the husbandman, so that the gardener can collect the harvest. Can collect fruit. It's really simple. I'm not a smart man, little one. But this is a simple concept. It's all about the dirt. The question is, what manner of dirt are you? And the Day of Atonement is all about remembering. And not only remembering what the Mashiach has done for us by his shed dung, but assuming the position of dirt so that shed dung can be poured out upon us. So that it can be poured out upon us to atone for us. And the pouring out of the dung upon us is to receive the dung. It's to drink the dung. It's to take in ruach, to take in breath, to take in his seed planted in us. It's all about the dirt. It's all about the dirt. This is Day of Atonement preparation. Come on, little one, read.
Stay in me and I stay in you.
Stay in me and I in you. The seed and the soil around the seed. Stay in me and I in you. Read.
As the branch is unable to bear fruit of itself, unless it stays in the vine.
Unless it stays in the vine.
So neither you, unless you stay in me.
Unless you stay in me. You can stop there. You can stop there. It's all about the dirt. It's all about the dirt. He's giving you several precepts here now to show you beyond the shadow of a doubt what this is about. This is the redemption of the earth. This is the redemption of dirt and the produce from that dirt, the fruit from that dirt, because the earth is dirt, we are dirt, and he has planted a seed in this dirt, and he expects a return from the seed. The gardener, the husbandman, expects a harvest. And all those who are not producing fruit are going to be cut off. All those who are not producing fruit in this season are going to be left for the hour of the great trial, the great distress. Are going to be left in the valley of oh no, saying, oh no, how did I get here? All those who are not bearing fruit in this season are going to be left because they are the walking dead. They are the living dead. They're going to be left when death manifests himself and comes to this earth shortly. They're going to be left. This may be your very last chance. This may be your very last chance. The Master has given you understanding what this is about. He's giving you understanding. Do not take these words lightly. Do not take them lightly. It sounds simple, and it really is, but these are words of life that he's speaking to you, Yahudah. These are words of life. This is Day of Atonement preparation. There's never been a Day of Atonement like this one. There's never been one like this one in our time. Come on, give us another precept, little one.
We have Jubilees 6.
Jubilees chapter 6. We're almost done. Jubilees chapter 6. And she's going to read until I tell her to stop. Jubilees chapter 6. Write it down. Listen here. If you want to follow along, Jubilees 6. Jubilees chapter 6. We'll give you just a couple of seconds to find it. Otherwise, write it down and go back and read it. Some of you have already read it. Even, I think, my little one, she's got to find it as well.
Oh, I have it.
You have it, Barak Yahuwah. Thank you, Master. If you don't have it, or if you don't have access to it, you can Google it and you can find a PDF copy online. If you don't have it, go back and read it later. But Jubilee 6, for the sake of time, for this being a fourth night, we're going to go ahead. Jubilees chapter 6, beginning at verse 1. Come on, read, little one.
And on the new month of the 3rd month, he went forth from the ark and built an altar on that mountain. And he made atonement for the earth.
He did what?
He made atonement for the earth.
He did what?
Made atonement for the earth.
Come on.
And took a kid and made atonement by his blood for all the guilt of the earth. For everything that had been on it had been destroyed, save those that were in the ark with Noah.
Is it safe to say that they were already atoned for a little while? Is it safe to say that?
Yes.
They were atoned for, right?
Yes, sir.
And they lived, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
They survived the distress that came on the earth, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Because they were atoned for, right?
Thank you, Master.
Barak Yahuwah, come on.
And he placed the fat thereof on the altar, and he took an ox and a goat and a sheep and a kid and salt and a turtle dove and the young of a dove, and placed a burnt sacrifice on the altar and poured thereon an offering mingled with oil and sprinkled with wine and strewed frankincense over everything, and caused a goodly savor to arise, acceptable before Yahuwah. And Yahuwah smelled the goodly savor, and he cut a covenant with him, that there should not be any more a flood to destroy the earth, that all the days of the earth, seed time and harvest, should never cease, cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night should not change their order, nor cease forever. And you increase ye and multiply upon the earth, and become many upon it, and be a blessing upon it. The fear of you and the dread of you I will inspire in everything that is on earth and in the sea. And behold, I have given unto you all beasts and all winged things, and everything that moves on the earth, and the fish in the waters, and all things for food. As the green herbs I have given you all things to eat. But flesh with the life thereof, with the blood ye shall not eat. For the life of all flesh is in the blood, lest your blood of your lives be required at the hand of every man. And at the hand of every beast will I require the blood of men. Whosoever sheds man's blood by man, shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Elohim made he man. And you increase ye and multiply on the earth. And Noah and his sons swore that they would not eat any blood that was in any flesh. And he cut a covenant before Yahuwah Elohim forever throughout all the generations of the earth in this month. On this account he spoke to you that you should cut a covenant with the children of Yasharal in this month upon the mountain with an oath, and that you should sprinkle blood upon them, because all the words of the covenant which Yahuwah cut with them forever. And this testimony is written concerning you, that you should observe it continually, so that you should not eat on any day any blood of beasts or birds or cattle during all the days of the earth. And the man who eats the blood of beast or of cattle or of birds during all the days of the earth, he and his seed shall be rooted out of the land. And do you command the children of Yeshurun to eat no blood, so that their names and their seed may be before Yahuwah Eloheinu continually. And for this Torah there is no limit of days, for it is forever. They shall observe it throughout their generations, so that they may continue supplicating on your behalf with blood before the altar every day, and at the time of morning and evening they shall seek forgiveness on your behalf perpetually before Yahuwah, that they may guard it and not be rooted out. And he gave to Noah and his sons a sign that there should not again be a flood on the earth. He set his bow in the cloud for a sign of the eternal covenant, that there should not again be a flood on the earth to destroy it all the days of the earth. For this reason it is ordained and written on the heavenly tablets that they should celebrate the feast of Shavuot.
That they should celebrate the feast of Shavuot
in this month, once a year. To renew the covenant every year.
You can stop right there. Now, Shavuot, another name for Shavuot is what? First fruits. First fruits. Yes, it is. Another name for Shavuot is first fruits. Now, we find Noah and his children and their wives and his wife. The only life to survive the great distress of that time. The only ones to live and to escape the hour of trial of that time. They were atoned for. Yes, they were. They were atoned for. And they were atoned for because they recognized that they were dirt. Yes, they did. Noah is described as perfect. He's described as Tamim. He's described as Tom. Tom means to be quiet. Tom means to be humble. Tom means to be dirt-like. Noah was a very humble man. He was a very humble man. He recognized that he was dirt. He was a humble man. And he had the seed of Elohim planted in him. Yes, he did. Why? Because he was bearing fruit. Is this not first fruit? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. They were bearing fruit, and thus they celebrated first fruits. The master gathered the fruit, and at that time there was very little fruit to gather. There was very little fruit to gather. There was eight beings. There was very little fruit to gather. And when the waters receded, they celebrated the feast of first fruits. They had been atoned for because they assumed the position of dirt and they were producing fruit. And so the master gathered a harvest that was pleasing unto him and kept them from the hour of trial that time. There won't be many in this time, in this hour either. There won't be many who are going to who are going to humble themselves. Who are going to humble themselves and become dirt. Made conducive to the planting of seed, to receive the atonement, to receive his toning blood, so that we can spring forth and bear the fruit requisite of eternal life, to bear the fruit requisite of Mount Zion, so that like our righteous fathers here, we will be counted worthy to escape the hour of trial. We will be counted worthy to escape the hour of trial and to be gathered as a harvest, as a bountiful harvest, as a first fruit harvest, as the produce from the ground, as the produce from the seed that was planted in us, as the produce, the fruit of righteousness that proceeded from the seed. so that the master, so that the gardener, so that the husbandman will be pleased to gather that produce, that first fruit harvest, and bring it to Mount Zion, where it would be waved before him as a wave offering, as a first fruit wave offering, well-pleasing and acceptable unto him. Coming from the soil, it's all about the dirt. It's all about the dirt. It's all about the dirt. We've got to humble ourselves and get back to the dirt. From start to finish, even here at First Fruit Shavuot, it's all about the dirt. It's all about the dirt. It's all about the planting of seed and the receiving of harvest, expecting a harvest and coming to gather what? To gather what he expects. Any husbandman, any gardener expects a return from his labor. He expects a return. He expects a return from the seed that he has planted in this soil. Otherwise, those who are not producing fruit and do not have the seed will be left here for the hour of trial. Will be left here for the hour of trial to be either corrected or destroyed. To be either corrected or destroyed in the fires of the great distress. Come on, give us another precept, little one.
Revelation 14, 1 through 5.
Revelation chapter 14, 1 through 5. We're almost done. Revelation chapter 14, verse 1 through 5. Revelation chapter 14, verses 1 through 5. Beginning at verse 1, read for us, little one.
And I looked and saw a lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000.
Yes.
Having his father's name written upon their foreheads.
They had the seed. They have the seed. We have the seed. This is the seal of the living Elohim. This is the seed of the Hamashiach. This is the Ruach HaKadosh. This is the son of Adam in us, and us in him. Read.
And I heard a voice out of the heaven, like the voice of many waters, and like the voice of loud thunder. And I heard the sound of harpists playing their harps, and they sang a renewed song before the throne, and before the four living creatures, and the elders. And no one was able to learn that song, except the 144,000 who were redeemed from the earth.
Who were redeemed from the soil, from the earth. We're talking now harvest. This is a harvest. This is a harvest. Who were redeemed from the earth. Seed have been planted. Seed planted. A plant shooting forth from the seed, producing fruit. Producing fruit. Now, this is a harvest. He's coming back for a harvest, Yahudah. Just because you're called Yahudah don't mean you're Yahudah. He's coming back for a harvest. If you're not producing fruit, you're Ephraim. You're not Yahudah. Yahudah is one with the dirt, a seed that's been planted, that seed has grown forth, and there is fruit being produced. He's coming back for a harvest. Read, little one.
They are those who were not defiled with women.
Yes.
For they are maidens.
Yes.
They are those following the Lamb wherever he leads them on. They were redeemed from among men, being first fruits to Elohim.
Being first fruits to Elohim.
And to the Lamb.
And to the Lamb.
And in their mouth was found no falsehood.
And in their mouth was found no falsehood.
For they are blameless before the throne of Elohim.
For they are blameless before the throne of Elohim. It starts in the soil. It starts with being one with the dirt, having the seed planted in that dirt, and having that seed watered and growing forth and producing fruit, so that when he comes, he will find a first fruit harvest, a first fruit harvest well pleasing unto him, a first fruit harvest producing fruit, producing the fruit of righteousness well pleasing unto him, to gather that first fruit harvest and bring it to Mount Zion to be waved before him. But it begins with the dirt. It begins with dirt. The question is, what manner of dirt are you? This indeed is Day of Atonement preparation. This is about humbling ourselves, assuming the position of dirt, to receive the blood, to receive the pouring of the blood, to receive the seed, to receive the Ruach HaKadosh, who alone atones for us, who alone gives us life, who alone gives us the ability to produce the fruit that leads to everlasting life, the fruit that is requisite and well-pleasing unto the master as first fruits to be brought to his mountain. First fruits are perfect. The first of the harvest, first fruits are perfect. They are perfect fruit. Perfect. They're perfect fruits. And this is what he's coming back for. He's coming back for a harvest. Redeemed from the soil. Redeemed from the earth. Come on, give us. I think we got one more precept, little one.
Yes. Mark 11:13-21.
Mark 11. Mark 11. Last precept. Mark 11. Mark chapter 11. What verses, little one?
13-21.
Verses 13-21. Mark chapter 11. Verses 13-21. The ark has been sighted. The alarm has been sounded. The warning has gone forth to the four corners of the earth. Now, humble yourself. Repent. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from Shammai and forgive their sins and heal what? Their land. We're talking about earth, are we not? And heal their land, and heal their land, and heal their land. We're talking about earth. We're talking about soil. We're talking about soil. It begins with humility. This is the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement is all about humbling ourselves, being good land, fertile soil, made conducive for the planting of seed, the Ruach HaKodesh, who alone atones for us. Mark chapter 11, what verses, little one?
13-21.
Verses 13-21. Beginning at verse 13, read, little one.
And seeing at a distance a fig tree having leaves.
Listen, and seeing at a distance a fig tree having leaves.
He went to see whether he would find any fruit on it.
He went to see if he would find any fruit on it. It was the season. It was the season to find fruit on that fig tree. But when he went to it, when he came, it was not bearing fruit. It was the season. This is the season. That was the season. It should have been bearing fruit, but it was not bearing fruit. Read, little one.
And when he came to it, he found none but leaves.
He found none but leaves. Read.
For it was not the season for figs.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahushua responding said to it, let no one eat fruit from you ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And his taught ones heard it. And they came to Jerusalem. Yahushua entering into the Kadush place began to drive out those who bought and sold in the Kadush place, and overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those selling doves. And he did not allow anyone to carry a vessel through the Kadush place. And he was teaching, saying to them, has it not been written, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations, but you have made it a den of robbers. And the scribes and the chief priests heard it, and they were seeking how to destroy him, for they feared him, because all the crowds were astonished at his teachings. And when evening came, he went out of the city. And in the morning, passing by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the root. Then Kapha, remembering, said to him, Rabbi, look, the fig tree which you cursed has withered.
Barak Yahuwah. Barak Yahuwah. When he returns, those that don't go with him are going to be accursed. They're going to be left to the wicked one. Now, this says here that it was out of season for the fig tree. Is it not written that we are to be prepared in season and out of season, little one? In season, out of season. We are to bear fruit. We are to be ready in season and out of season. Whenever he comes, we are to be ready. We are to be ready. We are to be found producing fruit. Whether in season or out of season, we are to be found producing fruit. He's coming expecting fruit. He's coming expecting fruit. He's coming expecting a harvest. It's all about the dirt. It's all about the dirt. The question is, what manner of dirt are you? Are you that soft, pliable dirt? Are you that hard dirt that no thing can live in, that dry waste places, that the devil, that the adversary, that Ruach thrive in? Or are you that surf, that soft, fertile, pliable soil, made conducive to the planting of seed? Such that seed, the Ruach HaKodesh, Yahushua Mashiach, the son of Adam, the seed, the inheritance, the heir, who is planted in us, whereby us growing up with him, one with him, us and him and us, producing fruit that leads to everlasting life, producing a harvest, a bountiful harvest, a bountiful first fruit harvest as he is first fruit, producing a bountiful first fruit harvest. So that when the master comes soon, as the ark has been seen, the alarm has been sounded. The ark has been seen. That we will be counted worthy to go on board that ark, to be gathered as a harvest and placed on board that ark, and brought as a harvest, as a first fruit harvest to Mount Zion, to be presented to our master by our high priest, Yahushua Mashiach, waved before Yahuwah as something well-pleasing and acceptable unto him. We thank you, Master, for the continual warnings that you send. and the continual understanding that you give us regarding your word and your secrets. We are but dirt, we are but soil, and we understand this, Master, and I assume the position as just dirt. As just dirt. It is my prayer that your people now understand that this is all we are. The question only remains, what manner of dirt are we? But we're dirt. We're dirt. We won't be made into your image until the earth, this earth has passed away. This earth, this soil, this land, this earth given the flesh has passed away. Then we will become like you are. But for now, we are dirt. We are dirt. And you are but, your eyes go to and fro across this whole earth, looking for plowable soil, of which is conducive for the planting of seed, so that that seed will grow and grow you and us and you will grow up to begin to bear fruit, the fruit that leads to everlasting life. Open the eyes of your people. Open the ears of your people. Open the hearts of your people. It is my prayer that this word is going forth across the whole of the earth as a hammer that shatters, shattering both chain and shackle, that it has both convicted, that it is edified, and that it is challenged, that it has caused your people to fall before your feet. The place where there is forgiveness of sin, the place of humility, and the place where there is covering, where it's covering, as the Day of Atonement means to cover, the place where there is covering for their crimes. It is my prayer now with renewed understanding that this seed, this word has not fallen by the wayside, that this seed, that this word is not falling on stony ground, that this seed, this word has not fallen amongst thorns, but that this seed, this word has indeed fallen amongst fertile soil, tilled, fertilized soil, made conducive to the planting of seed, so that us and you and us, that seed will grow to a mighty tree, fruit-bearing tree, a good tree with good fruit and no rotten fruit, bearing the fruit that leads to everlasting life. It is in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach I pray. So be it, so be it, so be it. To those of you on YouTube, once again, we're grateful that you stopped by to spend this fourth day gathering with us. We pray once again that you've been edified, that you've been challenged, that you've been convicted, that you've been shaken, and that even now you're starting to examine yourself and you're going to the only place that matters, to the dirt, humbling yourselves and going to the dirt, to the place of the Master's feet, because the heaven is his throne and the earth is his footstool. Going to his feet, assuming the position of what you are, dirt, making yourself plowable, allowing him to make you plowable and made conducive to the planting of seed. There may not be another chance, there may not be another opportunity. Without the Ruach HaKodesh, there is no atonement. The Ruach HaKodesh is the dam, it is the blood of Yahushua, it is Yahushua, he is Yahushua. And there may not be another day of atonement, there may not be another opportunity, there may not be another day of atonement like this one, in which to honor, in which to humble yourself, and to receive the seed that can save your life. Until the next time, Yahuwah barak you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor unto you. Yahuwah lift up his face upon you and give you shalom. Thus you shall put my name on the children of Yasharal, and I myself shall barak them. So be it, so be it, so be it. Shalom.